The threat of the conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan blowing up into a full-blown war still persists. Despite a Russia-brokered ceasefire to cool tensions in the region, fighting over the disputed region of Nagorno-Karabakh continues to escalate as both Armenia and Azerbaijan have accused each other of breaking the Russia-brokered ceasefire. According to Azerbaijan, at least 9 civilians have been killed in an airstrike on the city of Ganja. Children were among the injured in an attack in which 3 residential buildings were allegedly hit in the overnight strike. It was believed to have been carried out by Armenian forces. However, Armenia has denied that it was behind this strike. A CCTV footage accessed by Turkish state media showed the moment a large explosion hit Ganja, which is Azerbaijan's second largest city. The residents of Ganja remained distraught after rockets hit their homes. They said that returned to the city after the ceasefire was announced.
İnandık biz ateşkese. İnandık ki böyle olmaz. Ona göre geldiler bunlar. Eğer ateşkes olmasaydı hiç vaxt gelmirdiler. Çünkü korkurdu, hamı korkurdu. Kim istəyərdi? 2 evi var qardaşım, biri yoktu. Biri yoktu ki onlar hardasa qalsın. İndi hökumət sağ olsun, nə yardım eləyəcək ona Allah. Hamının köməyində olsun.
Top Azeri officials, including the presidential advisor, visited the blast site, which was hit less than 24 hours after 2 former Soviet countries agreed to halt fighting. Meanwhile, Hikmet Hicayev said that Ganja strike showed the true face of Armenia.
And Ganja city is more than 100 kilometers away from the theater of military operations. What was the reason to attack this city? What was the reason to attack Mingachever cities of Azerbaijan? There is no military targets. It doesn't have any necessity, or in no way it can be just justified from the military necessity. But what we see here is just Armenia's purpose to kill civilians. Once again, shows the true face of Armenia.
Meanwhile, debris of an unarmed flying vehicle was seen in the Nagorno-Karabakh, which is internationally recognized as part of Azerbaijan, but is ruled by ethnic Armenians. It is unclear which side was operating this equipment. There seems to be no end to the fighting in the disputed region even after a Moscow-brokered ceasefire, which was meant to allow Armenian and Azeri forces to exchange prisoners and the war dead. Now we are being joined by Dr. Benjamin Pogosyan, who is the chairman of Yerevan-based Center for Political and Economic Strategy Studies. For more details on this, Dr. Benjamin, welcome to WION. Thank you so much for giving us your time. What is the hope? What is the hope that this Russia-brokered ceasefire will persist? Is there any hope at all, because the conflict seems to be only escalating?
Frankly speaking, the only hope here is to see if Russia can put pressure on Turkish President Mr. Erdogan to stop the war, because the war on September 27 was launched by Azerbaijan and Turkey jointly, and the key decision makers now in Azerbaijan, they are not Azerbaijani leadership. The key decisions, both political and military, now in Azerbaijan, they are being made by Turkish leadership. So if you want to stop the war, we have to put additional pressure on Mr. Erdogan. This is the only way. This is clear that this pressure should be either economically, I mean some sanctions on Turkey to stop these genocidal actions, or maybe Russia should put some direct military pressure on President Turkey, because Azerbaijani leadership now is not able to adopt or approve any significant decision. All strategic decisions regarding this war are being made by Turkish leadership, including President Erdogan.
So, while you allege that Azerbaijani leadership is just a puppet at the hands of Turkey in this, the fact remains that civilians on both sides are suffering. We just heard Azerbaijani officials say that their city of Ganja has been bombed by Armenian forces, but we also had seen visuals that Karabakh's main city was also bombed allegedly by Azeri forces. There were widespread destruction and buildings were damaged in Karabakh as well. So both sides are not only the troops are fighting each other, but civilians are also being injured and killed in this conflict, isn't it?
Unfortunately, yes, but we have to understand that this war started on September 27 by a large-scale attack of Azerbaijani forces. But to give you a little bit more information, don't forget that starting from mid-July 2020, there was a large-scale military drills, joint military drills done by Azerbaijani and Turkish forces. We see several visits of Azerbaijani Minister of Defense to Ankara, and we see several visits by the Turkish Defense Ministry and also Turkish Chief of General Staff to Azerbaijan. Also, we see that in Azerbaijani side, we see Turkish drones who are operated by Turkish instructors. We see Turkish advisors, and also we see several thousand mercenaries deployed by Turkey from Syria and Libya. And I'm speaking about Islamist mercenaries who are fighting against Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh. And this is a very famous feature of Turkish foreign policy recently. We all know that Turkey uses these Islamist mercenaries in Syria, and also since late 2019, we deployed several thousand Islamist mercenaries in Libya, fighting against the General Haftar army. So yes, civilians are suffering, but the reason is that on September 27, Azerbaijan and Turkey decided that they are able to solve the conflict by force, and they are able to invade Nagorno-Karabakh, and they are able to massacre or expel all Armenians from Nagorno-Karabakh.
Right. Now, Turkey and Azerbaijan claim that Nagorno-Karabakh is Azerbaijani territory. So how do you justify Armenian support to the separatists in Nagorno-Karabakh?
Look, let's not go too deep into the history, and I'm not going to speak about what happened some several thousand
Okay, then
years
what
ago.
will be your appeal to the international community who want to see
yes.
peace in the region?
But let's just don't forget that in 1991, when Azerbaijan declared itself independent from Soviet Union, according to the same Soviet Union rules, the Nagorno-Karabakh declared its independence, and also in 1991. So from both international law perspective and also from Soviet Union law perspective, in 1991, in territory of former Soviet Azerbaijan, we have two separate states in America, one Republic of Azerbaijan and another Nagorno-Karabakh Republic. So all claims of Azerbaijan that Azerbaijan international, Azerbaijani territorial integrity has been broken by Karabakh, it has no offense on international law.
Right. So I understand your point, but at the same time, Azerbaijan says that it will not stop, that this is just a brief window of easing the hostilities, but it will not stop pushing towards reclaiming the territory of Nagorno-Karabakh. So where do you see this conflict ending?
Frankly speaking, I am not so surprised that Azerbaijan and Turkey, they are telling that they are not going to stop, and they are going to continue as far as they will either kill all Armenians or expel all Armenians. And let's not forget that this is a part of Turkish very assertive foreign policy, not only in South Caucasus, but also in the Middle East, in Northern Africa, and also in Southeast Asia. We see Turkish strategic connection with Pakistan. We see trilateral Azerbaijan-Turkey-Pakistan alliance. And we know that Turkey now is a number one or number two arms supplies to Pakistan. We all know the Turkey's position on Kashmir issue. However, many times, as recently as in 2020 UN General Assembly, accused India of making even genocide against Kashmir Muslims. So this is a part of Turkish assertive foreign policy, and I'm not surprised that if Armenian army and also international community will not stop Turkey and Azerbaijan, definitely they will be happy to continue. They will be happy to massacre all Armenians, or at least to expel all Armenians from Nagorno-Karabakh.
Okay, we are really running out of time, but I have to ask you one final very short question. You've accused Turkey of being behind the escalation in the tensions. So if Turkey stays outside, is there possibility that Armenia and Azerbaijan can sit together and reach a solution? Very quickly, please.
Definitely there is a possibility. Of course, it will be a long and very difficult process. But if Turkey continues to be in, I'm afraid this bloodshed will continue.
Dr. Benjamin, thank you so much for joining us and giving us your time. The conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan continues to escalate despite a Russia-mediated ceasefire in the region.